Hey, beautiful soul, and welcome to the weekly reading for Sunday, February 13th through Saturday, February 19th. We're going to take a look at some tarot, some oracle cards, and really just understand the energies, the potentials, and any heads up we can have for this week and what it might look like for us. So I'm going to flip you down. I've already got our cards pre-shuffled, and as usual, I will post below, any of the cards that I've used this time. So let's just take a look. I'm going to still do this spread that we've been doing, which is the Celtic Cross. I might just move these cards a little differently, just so we can see them. I hope you guys are having a great week. Happy Valentine's Day on Monday if you celebrate that holiday. So it does look like we're coming out of a time of worry. This is really sleepless nights, lots of worry, lots of things on our mind, lots of stress, can be things in our own life or can be from the outside world. But since this card is reversed, we're coming to an end of this time period. We're getting ready to move forward. And let's just see what else we can know. So what's interesting here is the card that crosses it, right? Or the challenge to us moving out of this time of sleepless nights and worry for, maybe some reason, but maybe we're worrying a little bit more about something than we actually need to. This card, the moon, has to do with things that are hidden from us, our intuition. So for some of you, it may be just that you're not trusting your intuition that everything is going to work out okay, or you're not trusting that intuitive guidance that you're having about how to move forward out of this situation or your best next steps, for example. For others of you, it can mean that there's something going on behind the scenes that you are not yet aware of. Now, this can be something positive or this can be something challenging. There's not, since this is a general reading, it could be some different things for different ones out there. So really just bringing your awareness to wanting to know whatever it is you don't know, bringing things to the light, bringing the unseen to becoming seen, really using your intuition to help guide you this week. Now, the bottom line is you're juggling a few things right now, at least two, maybe more, depending on what's going on with you, but you're doing it successfully. So just a reminder that it doesn't have to be one or the other necessarily. If this for you relates to a choice, for example, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It sometimes can be both and, as long as you're able to juggle, to balance these things in a way that feels comfortable. Now, if you look at her, she's really happy. She's in control of these two pentacles, these coins, and this is this figure 8 pattern, reminding us that we are infinitely supported. It's just how we're choosing to spend our time, to spend our energy. Are you wanting to stay in this space of sleepless nights, of worry, of having too much concern, and not enough comfort? Are you willing to see whatever it is that you're not seeing, or willing to take the guidance that's coming to you that you might be in resistance of? And just reminding yourself that, you do have some choices, but sometimes it feels like we're juggling more than one thing at a time. Now, in the past, what we recently learned or came through that we can take lessons with us is, just making sure with this King of Wands is full of passion and full of ambition and full of drive, and is usually a very spiritual or spiritually evolved person, or certainly has the potential to step into that. So really what this is telling us, we have learned that we do have some spiritual gifts that we may be resisting, or maybe using them not to the fullest, or not having a very clear way of how to use them at this point or in the past. But just acknowledging that you do have these abilities, you do have intuition, you do have spirit loved ones that are spending time with you all the time. So it feels like for some of you, you just recently have been trying to come to understanding with this. Some of you are still in a good bit of resistance. So just with this card of intuition, reminding yourself, okay, have I learned some lessons about my intuition and what it can do for me, or what happens when I resist my intuition, for example? Now, the highest good, this is the Chariot. So the Chariot can represent a couple different things. If you notice with these Sphinx, The black and white, when you see black and white in the tarot together like this, it often represents balance, balancing, opposite forces, balancing opposite choices. But the Chariot also has to do with movement. And if you notice, she is holding a wand, which has to do with stepping into your life's purpose, your passion, your potential, like we saw here. So if you've been having some resistance around this, you're just being asked, this is a card of balance too. So you're just being asked to find a balance between the things you feel like you have to do and the things you feel like you want to do, or, balancing what you know intellectually versus what you know intuitively. But I would expect some things to start moving forward for you. If they haven't already, I would say within the next few weeks. I keep getting 3 weeks with this. So I would expect some things to really be starting to move forward over the next 3 weeks. But I think you're going to start to see this week, this indicates, since this is a weekly reading, this indicates that we are going to see some movement on this week. The way to get things to progress a little quicker, if that's possible with your situation, is to listen to your intuition. To pay attention to it, to follow it, even to mark it down, take note of how you're feeling about something, and then see what starts to unfold. Now, another thing that's great with this spread in particular, this card is just what's right around the corner. Now, the Tower card, as we've talked about before, can represent something crumbling. This Tower is in reverse, which is rebuilding. So you are rebuilding those things that have crumbled away, those things that have broken down. You're stepping into right around the corner, right? Probably towards the end of this week, really having some new inspiration, some new ideas, or some new opportunities and potentials to rebuild in a new way with a new foundation. Remember, we're in that 6th year of building on a very firm foundation. So reassessing and rebuilding some of the things that maybe didn't work due to either the circumstances we've had in the last couple of years or due to your personal life circumstances. Again, since this is a general reading, it will resonate slightly differently with each of you, but I would be looking for or available for opportunities to rebuild things, especially as it relates to what you're passionate about, your calling, your purpose. And it doesn't have to be necessarily your actual work in the world at this time, but just what calls your passion. What do you feel excited about? What do you feel passionate about? And maybe it is your work, but it doesn't have to be, is what I want to say. Now this was upside down. So we're going to pull just the rest of this spread. As you guys might remember, there are 4 additional cards that go here. Okay. This is great. So this is you in the situation this week. Like, what role are you playing in the situation? And this card is beautiful. Potential. Think big for your future. That goes right back to this rebuilding. So it shows that you are already starting to think about, how do I want this to look in the future? And you're being encouraged here to think even bigger than you are. So don't limit yourself. You do have these amazing potentials and you are supported. This angel in this snow globe is an incredible symbol. And I have a feeling it represents something specific to some of you. But if it doesn't for you, just know that it's indicating that you are supported, that you do have unseen helpers, or help is behind the scenes for you. Everything's working out behind the scenes. But focus on when you're dreaming, when you're intending, when you're creating, when you're taking action steps, really, being just invited to understand your true potential. Think big for your future. I mean, that's pretty clear, and that's your role in the situation. So are you limiting yourself right now? Are you, thinking you're not good enough or you're not capable enough? And really just pay attention to that languaging within yourself. Now, this is external influences on the situation. So could be a person's influence or just influences outside of yourself, external influences. And what we have is new beginnings. Begin your new life. Again, we're back to this Tower and this rebuilding, building your new life. And for me, this feels like, and again, could be a little different for each of us, but this does feel to me as well on a bigger, more global scale, right? So things are shifting for a lot of us in our small worlds. And sometimes in some places we're having restrictions being lifted or things are shifting in that way. This is this phoenix rising out of this fire, right? We've been through fire in the last couple of years. And sometimes there are external forces, external situations that can shift and just allow us to start rebuilding on a new foundation, or beginning a new life in some way. I'm so excited to hear how this part resonates with you guys. These other two bits of guidance: self-reliance. I really love this. Don't be afraid to fly solo. So even if other people don't see your vision, don't see what you want to build for your future, it doesn't mean that you can't start to take steps, start to be in action, start to be self-reliant and get that ball rolling yourself. If other people are meant to join you as whatever you're creating unfolds, that's great, and that will happen in its own time. But don't hold yourself back if other people aren't ready for you to grow, for you to expand. You have choice in this about whether you're gonna, do it no matter what, or whether you're going to be dependent on other people to be ready to start their new beginning. So this is just encouraging you that you do have this strong pull within you. You do know, even if you don't fully believe yet, you do know what's right for you, and you're being encouraged to go after it at this time. Don't be afraid to fly solo. This is just a really gorgeous card. I love it. And the other little thing for me is, rainbows, just personally, often indicate just this reminder that everything's going to work out. Everything works out in the end. Everything is always working out for me is one of my personal mantras. And you're seeing lots of these rainbow flares. And this, you see the rainbows in the Phoenix, the way the artist has created it. So just knowing, hey, building new foundation and thinking big for our future potential and new beginnings, beginning our new life. This stuff can feel a little intimidating sometimes, but just remembering that you are fully supported and everything is always working out, even if we don't understand it at the micro level where we are. On a bigger scale, things are moving forward and working out. Now, this last little bit of guidance: dreams. Believe in your dreams. So I'm back to this hidden intuition. If there is something you are having recurring dreams about, I might spend a little more time with it. I would definitely be jotting down your dreams first thing in the morning while they're fresh and you can remember them. But just paying attention to even daydreams, to intuitive inspiration. So these could be waking dreams or sleeping dreams. But really it's indicating paying attention to your intuition right now, even if it doesn't make sense for other people, even if other people aren't seeing your vision. Paying attention to your own personal inspiration right now is going to be really important in rebuilding this foundation and with this chariot, getting things moving forward and getting us, you, me, all of us, to step out of this sleepless nights and worrying more than we actually need to be. So that is our weekly spread. Now, what we've been doing lately is pulling some messages from our loved ones in spirit. So we're going to do that again. And I just invite you to, just for a moment, if you are somewhere where it's safe, close your eyes, take a big deep breath, and then the first loved one that pops into your mind, allow one of these messages to be from them. So I will let you know the decks below, but this is the James Van Praagh Talking to Heaven deck. I'm just going to pull 3 separate messages and I'll give you each of them. And then I've been pulling some what we call clarifiers for those, which is just a little extra to the message. Wow. These have been so profound, you guys. And I have to tell you, I was a little resistant to doing them because this is not how I normally work with spirit as a medium. But I kind of felt inspired to do it, and you guys have been loving them. So let's get into them. Now, this message is, I am just a thought away, along with trust your own understanding. And what's beautiful here is in each instance, you see a person with an animal. This one, she's got all these beautiful butterflies flying alongside her, and she's got this owl mask. And this one, she's got a little dog. You may have heard me say this before if you've been with me. The spirit world is not some faraway place. It is just a world within our world. There's that thin valence that we cannot see them usually or be aware of them all the time, but they are right with us, just a thought away. And trust your own understanding. So if you are someone that is subtly aware of your loved one in the spirit world occasionally, or they pop into your mind and then you dismiss it as wishful thinking, or you really need some advice about something and then you hear a memory of that person's voice in your mind, kind of saying what you should do. And you're saying, oh, well, I'm just making that up because that's what they would say. The reason that you're getting that information and what they would say is because that's what they would say. Even when they're on the spirit side, they're still a person, there's their soul. So they still give guidance in very much the same way that they would when they were here. So don't discount your experience, trust your understanding, just accept that your loved one is near you, just a thought away. So they're not far away, they're just right there. Okay, so next message, we are so connected with illumination. Now, the beautiful thing about this is we are so connected. They really are just right there. But the illumination to me is a couple different things. Again, we're seeing this moon. If you notice, she's got that big, bright, beautiful full moon. So really, you could be asking your loved ones to come to you in a dream state or just to help you feel them near. But with this illumination, I really feel like you're going to be offered some opportunities very soon from whichever loved one you thought of for them to say hello to you. Now, it might be through a sign in the world. If you are a part of the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group and you did the free live workshop with us last week, you know how to get a sign from your loved one. So it could be a sign in the world that they're going to show you as a hello. It could be some inspiration. It could be a message that comes to you through another person. Like if someone comes up to you and says a phrase that your loved one used to always say, just take that as a little hello from your loved one that they're around. But I do think some of this connectedness is going to be illuminated for you very soon. And certainly your loved one who you thought of for this particular message is trying to get a hello to you. They're trying to illuminate this knowledge in you that we're all connected. Okay, and let's move on to our third and final message. I see your thoughts and you are worth it. So if you are someone that has been having some negative, thoughts in your mind, your loved one knows what you're thinking, sees your thoughts, and just wants to respond to you and encourage you and remind you, you are worth it. And this can be even if you had a challenging relationship with this person, because as souls, whether we're, in this place or another place, we're always learning, growing, evolving. That's how I understand it. And, they do see our thoughts. So if we just send out prayers to them or think of them or talk to them in our mind, they do hear us and they are aware of what we're thinking and what's going on with us. And the response that they want to give you back right now is, you are worth it. So if there's something you've been back and forth about, whether, it's for you or it's not for you, or should I spend this extra time on myself, this extra money on myself? Should I do this for myself? Should I not do this for myself? You are worth it is the message that they want to give you. And they want you to know that they do see all of your thoughts, that they do know what you're going through. They do know what you're pondering, wrestling with, thinking on. And the message back to you is, you are worth it. Now we're going to have one little message for everyone that is going to be our mantra or guidance or inspiration for the week for all of us. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. And again, this big, beautiful full moon. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So if during this reading, you've been asking yourself like, well, how do I do that? How do I rebuild my foundation? How do I step into my new beginning? How do I, trust myself? Apparently, the answer is when you're connected to your joyful presence, you attract the support of the universe. So remember, we talked about your passion, tuning into what lights you up. What are you passionate about? What makes you excited and makes you want to show up and even leaves you effervescent or feeling good afterwards? That's your passion. So when you can feel that joyful presence of you expressing your soul's calling, your passion, things you're excited about, that's when you attract the support you need from the universe. So that is our guidance for this week. I hope this resonated with you. It is so good to be with you. I hope you will join me in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group if you are not already there. And I will see you all very soon. Big hugs and bye for now.